Hey Pisces, this is your monthly reading. So this is for Pisces sun or rising sign for the month of September 2023. Of the readings that I put out monthly, these are the more extended type readings. So they're a little bit longer than the bi-weeklies for sure. Trying to see which deck I want to use here. All right. So we'll be taking a look at the beginning, middle, and end of the month, how that's unfolding for you. It's going to be an interesting month. I feel like that's the middle, beginning, and end. All right. So, all right. Well, I do like the beginning of the month for you Pisces. That's just something I like. But let's also take a look at the challenge that is coming up. Okay. And any kind of spiritual guidance or advice that's coming through. All right, Pisces. So here we go. So these, like, as I said, they're a little bit more extended. If you want shorter videos, sweeter little bites, the other videos that I put out bi-weekly, typically around like 5 minutes long, those just came out a couple of days before the beginning of this month, and it went from the August 30th full blue moon to the September 14th new moon in Virgo in tropical astrology. And so those videos are out if you want to check out something a little bit smaller, more condensed. These are more extended. So how do we bring this into focus? These are collective readings, and as we know, if you really want to know the specifics, one-to-one readings are going to be the best way to do that. However, if you're watching collective readings, I encourage you to listen to your intuition. If you get through this reading and you're like, it just doesn't fit, it wasn't really I wasn't resonating with it, that just means it wasn't your message this month, right? It's not always going to hit for every Pisces sun or rising sign across like thousands of people every single month, right? These are collective readings, so they're meant to reach the common threads. So if, for instance, this is your sun sign, maybe go check out your rising sign, or, get a one-to-one reading. Whether that's me or anyone else, if you want it to be me, that information is down below. So how can we bring this energy into focus and say, like, what is the overarching theme that that is in focus, that is up, that is important in this particular month for you? And we have the 7th house. It's the house of relationships. It's interesting. You're the only zodiac sign that actually got this house for the monthly readings. And, it is about romantic relationships that are more serious, whether you're married or it's just a more serious than a casual dating, light dating, just brand new kind of relationships. This would be more serious. This can also represent partnerships that are like business partnerships. So like there's another kind of like, as in there is a marriage contract between people. There is also like business contract between two partners, for instance, that is similar in a way. So we can look at it from that lens, but I'm getting the feeling this is probably more relationship related, especially because we're just at the very beginning of this month on September 3rd. Venus stations direct after 40 days and 40 nights of being retrograde. This has been a memorable retrograde for Venus retrograde. So anyway, we start out the beginning of the month with the Queen of Swords. I love it. I love the Queen of Swords. This is about having clarity. You've been through the muck and now you are coming to a place of clarity. This is about staying true to yourself, being true to yourself, and speaking what is true for you, right? Speaking what is so. Saying what needs to be said without being cutting and reckless about the way you swing your sword, and being able to speak directly, clearly, maybe even piercingly, but, with tact, diplomatically, as a queen would, not as somebody who is like a reckless berserker would, right? And so there's that. I think that there is an interesting thing that's happening here in terms of relationship. For those of you who are single, dating, I'm going to say the middle of the month, there is like a very temporary type of energy that comes in. Someone who's like here today, gone tomorrow, not really like a lasting type of energy, but very fun, maybe very charismatic and passionate and fiery in that way. That's cool. For those of you who are like in relationships, I would say this would maybe have more to do with feeling like some kind of passion gets stirred back up again, or feeling like you might feel drawn outside of the relationship, just kind of feeling like, I want to feel this way again. I want to be engaged in this way again. And perhaps that's part of the truth that you're coming to in the middle of the month. Now, there is this kind of energy at the end of the month where the Emperor card is about stepping into this energy that is like, I want to build something that will stand the test of time. I want to create something consciously, and something that's going to be solid, something that's going to maybe require some like drive and action and momentum. So if you guys have some, like for somebody, let's say for instance, I want to lay out a few different scenarios since this is something that is a collective reading. If you're someone who's actually like been dealing with someone on the lighter end, you might be like coming to a realization at the beginning of this month and going, you know what, I have some things that need to be said. There are things that I want, and I've realized that I'm clear on what it is that I want to do to move forward. I really want to move those things forward, and I would like to build something that is stronger and has a foundation. And so you want to move towards those things, right? So that's like one example of how that could show up for somebody who is in, and this is why I suggest one-to-one readings, because it's like, well, when we know like what you're dealing with exactly, it's easier to like be much more specific and less vague and broad about what the meanings of the cards are, right? So likewise, we can see like that type of energy and that type of story playing. I don't want to do it for like play out the scenario for like every type of relationship or non-relationship situation, but you get the idea of like how this could actually play out, I hope. With the challenge, we have the Empress card showing up, and you know, with the Empress, I think that there is like this, I don't know if it's about like needing to look at your own value and worth and to own that. If there's some kind of like blockage with not being able to see that, or if there's like a maybe lack mentality and thinking that there isn't an abundance of what it is that you want. If you're single, people that are potentials, or if you're not single, maybe perhaps for a couple of you, this could have to do with feeling like, why am I not able to procreate? You know, like I'm really wanting to procreate. And then for others of you, this could just be like, I'm disconnected from my body, from my senses. You know, the thing that is really beautiful about the Empress is that she is deeply abundant and sensual and in touch. And I mean sensual, not sexual, sensual. She's in touch with her senses. She's in touch with her body and, you know, her sense of touch and all of the delights, and how those things are very like sensory, like stimulating. Stimulative a word? That's funny. Sometimes, you know, you hear something, you're like, did I make that up? I'm tired. And then we look at the spiritual advice that we have coming through, and that is, you know, why I said I'm like, it's going to require a little bit of patience here, because the 8 of Pentacles is like things are moving maybe perhaps at a slower pace. The earth is like slow and steady, right? It can go at a much slower pace. And it's like, there are things that you still need to work on with regard to relationships. There are things that you still need to be like working on consistently, that you should not let fall to the wayside, that you should definitely be paying attention to. So I would say like, hey, it's going to take more patience. It's going to take also more time. And it's also going to take you continuing to do the work on yourself. Regardless of what other people are doing, this is about you continuing to do that work yourself. So I hope that this feels helpful for your particular relationship type situation, or even if it's a business partnership type of like situation. If it has felt insightful and given you a message in some way, please consider giving the video a like. It does help me with the algorithm gods. Also, while you're there, might as well subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of these videos on the horizon. I know that this came out a little bit later this month than I normally have them out, so please forgive that. I'm trying really hard to catch up with my schedule. Things I think will stable out soon enough. If you don't follow me on social media, my dad is 83 and lost everything in the fires in Lahaina, and it was like we had to search for him and like the rescue and all the stuff, and he's safe, but yeah, so it's thrown kind of things behind. So forgive this video coming out later than I intended. Also, if you feel so inclined to share his story and his GoFundMe with your community, if you know of people who are wanting to contribute directly to somebody who like actually lost stuff and they're not wanting to like do like, you know, bigger companies for any reason, awesome, please do share it. It's there for that reason. If not, no worries, no stress, no pressure. I'm just trying to get the word out to help my dad. So anyways, thank you guys for your understanding about the timing of this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.